When governments fail at home, they rarely admit it. Think about it. Would any leader stand up and say, "We've failed you"? Of course not. Instead, they create distractions. And the biggest distraction of all is war. War unites people under a flag. It makes citizens forget about inflation, debt, unemployment, or corruption. Instead of blaming their leaders, people are told to blame an enemy across the border. This trick is as old as history itself, from Roman emperors to modern-day superpowers. Across the globe, 3 of the world's most influential economies, these 3 nations, the United Kingdom, the United States, and Germany, have long shaped global finance, trade, and diplomacy. London, New York, and Berlin are economic powerhouses, setting trends for the rest of the world. But today, each faces mounting internal pressures, political polarization, aging infrastructure, and growing public discontent. Their decisions ripple far beyond their borders, influencing markets and policies worldwide. The next major war could be our last, as it would likely involve nuclear weapons. The United Kingdom is increasingly pushing for confrontation with Russia, while the United States is preparing to face off against China. The stakes have never been higher, and the world stands on the brink of a conflict that could end civilization as we know it. The United Kingdom, the United States, and Germany are facing mounting crises at home. The signs are hard to miss. Soaring inflation rates, an uptick in unemployment, and public debt reaching record highs. In the UK, families grapple with double-digit inflation, utility bills that have doubled, and a wave of small businesses shuttering their doors. Meanwhile, in the United States, the national debt has surpassed $34 trillion, and jobless claims are at their highest point in years. In Germany, Europe's economic engine, industrial output has slumped, and recession fears loom as energy prices spiral. But what happens when these economic storms become too fierce to weather politically? Increasingly, governments are shifting the spotlight, escalating their involvement in international conflicts. In the UK, military spending has been ramped up, with politicians justifying new deployments to Eastern Europe under the banner of defending democracy. In the United States, recent escalations in rhetoric about threats from abroad have dominated headlines, while Congress approves ever larger defense budgets. Germany, traditionally reserved in military matters, has announced its largest rearmament since World War II, sending tanks and weapons to conflict zones and pledging billions more for defense. The pattern is clear. As domestic economic challenges intensify, leaders are turning outward, using military actions and aggressive foreign policy as a distraction. Instead of addressing inflation, unemployment, or debt, they redirect public attention toward external threats. The message is stark. When economies falter, the drums of war grow louder. Stock markets in turmoil, closed factories, and unemployment lines fade seamlessly into images of tanks on trains, fighter jets taking off, and political leaders delivering fiery speeches. This is not just coincidence. It is a deliberate shift, one with consequences that reach far beyond national borders. Nowhere is this clearer than in the United States. For decades, America held the title of the world's superpower, but things are changing fast. Rising nations like China, Russia, and new alliances such as BRICS are challenging U.S. dominance. And here's something chilling. The U.S. has rebranded parts of its military from Department of Defense to discussions of outright war. That isn't just a name change, it's a mindset shift. It signals that America is preparing for direct conflict rather than just protecting its borders. Losing global influence is dangerous, not because America will accept it peacefully, but because powerful nations rarely step aside quietly. When empires feel they're slipping, they often choose aggression over humility. That is the moment when the rest of the world should be most concerned. Something big is coming. Look around, military spending is at record highs. NATO is expanding. China is building fleets at a pace the world hasn't seen before. Russia is locked in conflicts that could easily spiral further. And in the Middle East, tensions simmer daily. Governments worldwide are not preparing for peace. They are preparing for war. Stockpiles of weapons, global supply chain control, cyber warfare programs, all of these are escalating. The scary part? Ordinary people don't always notice until it's too late. The question is no longer if conflict will erupt, but where and when. But let's be clear. While leaders wage wars for power, wealth, or distraction, it's never them who suffer. It's the people. Families are torn apart. Cities are destroyed. Generations live with trauma. And while ordinary people bleed, governments spin propaganda to keep support alive. This is why understanding the warning signs is so important. The people always pay the price for leaders' failures. History shows us that when governments fail, they often turn to war as the ultimate distraction. Today, we see powerful nations, especially the United States, losing influence and preparing for conflict. Something big is on the horizon. The question is, will the world allow leaders to push us into another devastating war? Or will ordinary people stand up and demand a different path? If you found this video thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And in the comments, tell us, do you think we're heading toward global war? Or can humanity change course before it's too late? So, what lies ahead? The world stands at a crossroads, and the path we choose will shape generations to come. One possibility is escalation. Simmering tensions could boil over, plunging nations into a global conflict unlike any we've seen before. Imagine headlines flashing across screens, armies mobilizing, cities preparing for the unknown. But there's another scenario. Leaders recognize the brinkmanship and pull back. Diplomatic breakthroughs can happen in the most unexpected moments. Picture world leaders sitting together at tense summits, hashing out fragile agreements, peace talks sparking new hope for cooperation. And then there are the wild cards, unexpected events that could change everything. A sudden technological breakthrough, a grassroots movement for peace, a crisis that forces humanity to unite instead of divide. The future is unwritten, and every action, every decision matters. As we look to tomorrow, the choice remains ours. Will history repeat itself, or will we make history by forging a new path? Only time will tell. But what if we chose a different ending to this story? History may be filled with conflict, but it's also rich with moments of unity and progress. Proof that humanity can rise above its divisions. The first step is often the hardest: open dialogue. Diplomacy, though imperfect, has repeatedly pulled the world back from the edge. Imagine leaders engaging in honest conversations, compromise replacing confrontation, rivalries giving way to alliances built on mutual respect. Yet change doesn't just come from the top. Across the globe, ordinary people are making extraordinary efforts. Peaceful protests, community dialogues, grassroots movements. It's in the hands of citizens that hope takes root, demanding accountability and inspiring leaders to act. Economic reforms offer another path forward, addressing inequality, investing in education, creating jobs. Picture thriving local economies and communities empowered to shape their own futures. And let's not forget the power of innovation. Cutting-edge technology that fosters global communication, breakthroughs that solve resource shortages, in labs, in classrooms, in bustling cities, in remote villages, people are building bridges, sometimes quite literally. Ultimately, the future depends on the choices we make today. Embracing diplomacy, supporting grassroots efforts, reforming economies, harnessing technology for good, the story isn't over. Together we can write the next chapter. As the dust settles and the world begins to heal, the true measure of any crisis is not just in the scars it leaves behind, but in the lessons it teaches us for the future. Across continents, cities rise from the rubble, new foundations laid not just with concrete, but with the wisdom earned from hardship. In classrooms filled with eager minds, history is no longer just a subject, but a living guide. Teachers share stories of resilience. Parents share stories of reconciliation, ensuring the next generation understands the cost of division and the value of peace. Families reunite, communities rebuild, children play. Where once there was uncertainty, their laughter a promise of a brighter tomorrow. Each conflict offers a moment to pause and reflect. What were the warning signs? What choices led us here? How can we do better next time? By confronting our past with honesty, we empower young people to break cycles of fear and mistrust. The aftermath is a time for repair and for renewal. It is a chance to pass on the torch of hope, to inspire those who will inherit the world, to make choices rooted in empathy, courage, and unity.